like we did a part already, talking about like our first experiences being there, hostel, like living in the hostel, the clothes we had to wear, the things we had to do. But I can almost say that there is so much that we can actually talk about, which we're going to talk more about it today. But anyone that has been shipped, anyone that has been sent back against their will, anyone that had to swim, anyone that had to take a boat, anyone that had to fly, anyone that even took a private jet, like
a private jet. I don't know who oh, shut up. Bro, you took British Airways, bro. What did you take? What airline did you take?
I took British Airways first.
Do you remember Virgin Nigeria? Why are you giving
that story is a story for my return back to London, which I do.
Okay.
In the first 2 years, like I took British Airways.
Okay.
And then,
Wait, did you come back every summer?
I came up every summer.
Raw!
I was not going to allow my life to remain in Nigeria. How dare you?
There was one, I think I returned for the first summer. I don't think I returned for the second one. I think I had to wait it out. Or maybe I came back for Christmas.
Summer, I came 5 times. I don't think I flew one extra time for a random reason.
Raw.
But yeah, I came back every summer. I spent, and because we would do exams, like how it is here is we don't do exams here that much, you know what I mean? So we'll do mock exams for that to move us to the next year.
Yeah.
And then you will have like a month of waiting for the teachers to mark and record it and before you get your reports. And you'll just go in and like play games and not really watch.
Are you talking about boarding school?
This is in school.
Oh, you're talking about hair, okay.
Not hair, there.
What?
You have a month of like your teachers marking your tests and them doing your reports, but you will just be going into school and playing about.
Fair.
After the last exam, my flight straight back to London.
I remember the time period you're talking about. Mine was only for like a week though.
No, yeah. So I would spend probably a good like 8 weeks in London and now go back for term time. So I was here. So I still had my friends.
Yeah.
But I just didn't go to school with them. That's a weird thing. But what I was going to say is that anyone that talks about their experience, and I got bougie a bit and I took Virgin Atlantic later on.
Okay.
Anyone that talk about their experience will always talk about punishments.
He's starting.
He will always talk about. You start. You always talk about punishment. What are some of your? We're gonna even make a list. The most iconic punishments of life.
Iconic.
The most iconic punishments of life.
Boy. So there was the beatings. The beatings were very standard.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We had like this teacher. The class did something, and this was in school. This was in the boarding school. This was in school. The class did something, and I remember the teacher was beating everyone like 3. And then imagine me, you sat, and at that time we had these kind of like Victorian times. So Victorian times where you would sit like 2 at a table. Yeah. And beating, though she was beating, but I think she was getting really tired. So put your hand up like you're about to get beat. I put my hand here. So the person then got beat, and I was like, "You've done me already."
So the person got beat twice.
Yeah, pretty much. But I don't know how I managed to pass case, but I remember just putting my hand underneath. I remember the teacher was just like beating recklessly, so it wasn't like your turn. It was beating recklessly, and so I low-key just put my hand underneath, and then I was like, afterwards, like, I'm in pain. Please.
Sometimes when getting beats in Niger, I remember let's say you were getting 6 strokes of cane, and after 3
strokes, that's like, I could
6 is not even that much. There's,
God.
I think there's people who've got 12, 14. I've probably got 12,
25.
But what they will do is, let's say after like 3, let's say you're supposed to take 6. After 3, you're like this.
Yeah.
They'll go just on your body.
It gets to a stage where we confirm it, though.
Yes. What did we call it? Dusting.
Yeah.
Yes, dusting.
Dust that shit off.
After like a year or 2, you got so desensitized to it. Sometimes you could be like, and if they hit certain places in your hands,
you'll freak out.
Oh yeah, your finger, you'll freak out.
But here, most of the time, by JS3, I was just like,
or you put your hands down like this.
yeah. You give you that breeze. That breeze to make sure to give it. Fam, they were mad. They were mad. But the punishments that you had to pick a pin, wait for your girlfriend.
How do you can't even show that stand sitting down.
Kind of like, imagine I'm not sitting down on my feet and I'm literally like.
Basically, you had to be your leg had to be up like this.
Yeah. Like kind of like you're waiting, but instead you're balancing on one foot.
And if you put your foot down, you're getting beat. All these punishments were backed up with the cane.
You know what I almost feel like? What? I almost feel like going through that, because I'm a bit lazy.
We know that, don't worry, that's very clear.
Okay, you can shut the fuck up. Going through that experience, I almost feel like all my energy I used in the first part of my life.
So that's your excuse for being lazy now?
A little bit, but it's too much because I can't imagine me doing that shit today.
What you mean the one-legged?
That the balance is like I'm a fucking gymnast or something. Like
you adapt, innit?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I definitely did adapt to it.
You're literally forced in boarding school. You're forced to adapt because that's not the kind of stuff you do over here. You do something wrong, you're getting beat. You at least kind of know what to expect.
Yeah,
the belt or the wire. Yeah. On a bad day. So
a wire.
No comment, but yeah. I've been beat with many things. Belts, wires, in Nigeria, canes.
Sometimes you could just get
tree branches.
Sometimes you could
yeah, and if the tree isn't smooth.
Yeah. Sometimes you could just get the look as well. I know you're gonna get messed up later on.
Just for context, the look is a look that is typically given from.
I think people know the look.
I think most like black people know.
Even white people.
You think so?
Yeah, I know some white people that they're like, they know who I want. They're just like in the shop when you're trying to you're messing about, and you're just like, right, don't fuck. Hey. You're gonna get it when you get back in. Please. I know white people that have gone through that. White people, Asian people, they get it. You know, you got tiger mums in those Asian families as well.
Fair, yeah.
So,
that look is that's deadly.
I think punishments were a really big thing. And you get punishments because you used to wet the bed.
Yeah.
A lot.
I think I might have got punished for that. They used to do this thing in my school as well.
And they will embarrass you. Take your mattress outside to dry it. I never went through that experience ever. I never wet the bed. I probably I learned how to use the toilet and not wet the bed when I was in nappies. Okay.
I proudly wet the bed up until I was about 13, and sometimes it was so bad that the urine would go to the other side of the mattress, and both sides of the mattress would be wet. But that's me giving you my imperfections and the introspection into Richard Olamide, Baba Tope Oladele, Olatinlewa Fagbolagun. Now no one can banter me because I am so... What's the word? Oh,
you finished all your big words.
I'm so.
You finished all your big words.
I'm so bold and confident about it.
See my imperfections and my...
The introspection.
You're stupid. And then you find one other word you can't think of another big word.
Don't watch that.
Mess.
Anyway,
it's like I tell children in my class. Use the words you understand.
I used the word that I understand. I used words that I understood. Past tense.
I think because you studied in Nigeria.
But anyway,
I think because you studied in Nigeria, you can
use
big words.
Another punishment. Okay, you go.
Go on.
Another punishment was farming, and this was
farming.
Yes, this was something that you did. This farming was like a punishment that was given if you did something really bad. Like if you got caught. I think there was a time that we were caught playing in the main. We were playing football in the assembly hall, which was obviously wrong because you shouldn't be playing football indoors. Yeah. And they made us farm. I think it was for half of the day, and they would give you a cutlass or I don't know what this one is called,
like a machete sort of thing.
A machete, and you would literally have to cut the grass. Now we're talking.
You mean shear scissors?
Shear scissors or whatever.
Something like that. Yeah, whatever.
Now you're talking about a school
not pliers. But
Yeah, whatever, yeah. You're talking about a school that literally had 35 acres of land. So there was always grass, weeds to be cut. And you would...
You know that's actually low-key slavery, you know?
I wouldn't call it slavery. I would call it a punishment.
That's low-key slavery.
You didn't have gloves as well. And you were normally doing it with shorts. So you would normally leave with like your hands sore. And sometimes injuries, because let's say you're like using the cutlass and it hits your leg.
Yeah,
like that's a cut.
Mad.
Even with like my dad, sometimes when I look at my dad's legs, my dad will tell you all his injuries were from literally on the farm. So the farming punishment was a peak punishment.
I didn't go through any of that.
Because you don't have gloves.
I did not go through any of that.
Yeah, you did. I told you. You went through a bougie experience compared to me.
Yes, they were both bad regardless. But
mine was like...
I will say one thing I found the hardest, and hands down, the hardest in Nigeria was the illnesses. Because malaria and... Is it typhoid?
Typhoid fever.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord Jesus, please have mercy in Jesus' name.
You know what's so funny?
What?
I find it so funny when, like, British people today, they talk about, oh my gosh, malaria and all that stuff. And, like, I particularly, years ago, when Cheryl Cole got malaria, because she went to Africa and she came and they were like, she's turning black and blue, and she's going to die and all that. I was like, oh, that's sad, but... Babes, I've had malaria like 5 times.
Bro, malaria will legit have you thinking that you are going to die. Yeah. Every single time I had malaria, I would repent. I would say, Lord Jesus, please forgive me of all my sins in the name of Jesus.
It was quite concerning. It was quite concerning, to be fair, because I got malaria exactly 5 times, and then I had typhoid fever twice.
I think typhoid is even worse.
And there was one illness. My mum actually came to Nigeria because it was quite concerning. Like, that's why I always used to say, I gained weight, I never really gained weight. I lost so much weight because I was always sick. Particularly in like year 8, JS2, I was always sick. Like, they were always changing my blood. And I'm always in the hospital on a drip or whatever. Like, it was non-stop.
Just for context, malaria is an illness that is caused by...
Oh, come on. People know what malaria is.
Not everyone does, you know.
They could let them say.
No, malaria is an illness caused by the tropical mosquitoes in Nigeria. They're different from the ones...
Not just Nigeria, in Africa.
In Africa, yeah. And I think in many parts of Asia as well. And that's because the mosquitoes over there transmit malaria when they bite you, as opposed to like the mosquitoes or the bugs that we have over here that don't actually transmit any disease. But the symptoms of malaria include like headache, vomiting,
COVID.
fever. It's a madness. Like, and you
coronavirus.
you have a complete loss of appetite. So you can imagine your favorite food right now. You're not going to want to eat it.
Let me tell you what I lived off of. Lucozades. But not the Lucozades that we get, the fizzy ones in bottles. They were like little carton ones, like little ones, but they were super nice. But that is where my little energy came from. There was a time I was out of school for about a month because I couldn't move. Like, I don't ever want to experience that again.
Not even on my enemy.
Life. I would rather have an operation than to go through that again.
Yeah, malaria.
Do you know what I mean? And that wasn't easy, but I think I used, trust me, criminal, to use my illness to your advantage. My advantage. Watch this. I had malaria, and JC, I've spoken about like a senior punishing the whole flat. So I remember coming in, and you told us once, you said to me, why didn't I just go out when he was beating them? You look like a fool. Didn't I go out when he was beating them? I've done that once. I've gone up and said, I have to go to Auntie Go and get my medication. I've gone and got my medication. I came back tomorrow. I would escape because obviously I'm on medication, obviously. Yeah. And I'm like, I need to go get my medicine while everyone else is getting beat. There is no way.
You're getting beat when you have malaria.
What do it mean?
You might as well faint.
I might as well.
You might as well faint.
I've had a housemaster, this Mr. Lawal, I'm going to call him out. He's probably dead now, okay? He came to the hospital. I really need to. Let me even breathe. I need a prop. I need a prop. This prop is my cane. This is my stick that I used to beat people. He used to go around and beat you if your bed wasn't laid crisp. Like I'm talking, you know the edges. If it's just folded a little bit, you're getting beat for that. It had to be smooth.
Military school
like you could drop a pin and it has to bounce back. It had to be smooth. I'm in the hospital. I've been in the hospital for 3 days. And they took me in the middle of the day. Clearly my bed is not like laid. He came and the hospital was not in the same place. The hospital was like a trip away, like half an hour away. Came with his bastard cane in his armpit. Hey, Kulala, you have no lay your bed.
Why are you in hospital?
So here's me, yeah, like looking like an anorexic patient, right? I'm here. I've got a whole pin in my hand, passing like, medication, like a drip in my hand, and I look at my hand. And obviously, them days you couldn't like. Today, if someone did that to me today, I'll look at me like you're a dickhead.
Yeah, that's a dickhead flex.
But those days, I couldn't really run my mouth like that.
That is a dickhead flex.
I couldn't run my mouth. So I would look at my hand. I look at him. I look at my hand. I look at him. That's my message of being like, can you not see where
that you're in the hospital?
It's like, I will let you off. I will let you off today. But next time, make sure your bed is laid before you go to the hospital. Am I going to think about laying my bed when I'm close to death?
Donnies are repenting and saying, God, please forgive me. And you're thinking about bed.
My jigger's talking about...
when you're thinking you might not even be returning to London.
I think I'm not returning to civilization.
I can't even have another bar of Snickers.
Exactly. And so this is what I'm saying. Like, I've been able to maneuver. I've been able to maneuver using my illnesses to get me out of things. But one thing I've not gotten out of are battle scars. I've developed battle scars. Look, I've got one here.
Where do you get that from?
Got one on my head. A nail got dug into my head. It moved and came out.
You dug the nail into your head?
No one dug it. So basically, I was washing them back in those days. You had to wash with your hands, never again.
Yeah. In Nigeria, just for context, in boarding school, most of us...
It's not for context.
Most of us, that's probably not context. We didn't have washing machines, so you would hand wash your clothes. Some schools probably have or had laundry services. But yeah, for the most part, you hand washed all your clothes during the weekend.
I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, I agree. In terms of quality,
low-key is a bit better. And I was washing, and I remember that then. By this point, I was a senior, and it was hot, obviously, and I was a bit wet, and so I had hung all my clothes. And by that point, I was one of the seniors in the flats. I was one of the seniors in the flats with the juniors. I was the JS2s, and that was super cool to be most part. And what had happened? Yeah, so I was hanging it, and something had happened inside the flat. And one of my year group guys, can I remember his name? No, I can't. He was running away from a dead rat. So imagine I'm holding a bag with a dead rat to throw it away. He was running away from it. So in the process, and in Nigeria, the doors don't lock like how didn't used to lock like how our doors lock today. They had like a metal thing it's called a catcher. So they had like a metal thing on the wall and then a hook that would just hook and you can put a padlock on it. And it will lock.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, and I'll show you a picture as well.
Yeah.
And it will lock. And the thing on the wall that doesn't move was there.
Oh, was it sticking out?
It's already out. It's obviously out it was sticking out. So basically what happened...
No, but you got the bit for the padlock.
Yeah.
And the long bit.
The long bit. So basically what happened, he was running and ran into me because he was massive. He's massive. He ran into me. And obviously me there running my mouth, like, you fuck that, whatever. I'm like a bit angry. But in that person, because I was wet and I was sweating, I didn't know my head had like dug in, moved and come out. I didn't know. So bear in mind, and I didn't feel anything. So I just thought I bumped my head, right? So bear in mind, I didn't realize there was all this blood on me because I'm already wet from washing clothes. So then one of the boys in my flat was pointing at me. And obviously, being pushed already and hitting my head, I'm already vexed. I'm like, why are you pointing at me? Go get out. You know what I mean? And then luckily we have like buses in the middle of our like hostel. And I looked in the mirror. He was at your face. And I looked in the mirror and I just saw blood all over my face. At that point, it then hurt. And then I was getting dizzy. And I had to go to hospital. And I hate stitches. No, I don't do stitches. So I basically had that around my head for about a month or two. I didn't even tell my mum that. Well, now she knows, but you know.
There was a time.
That's disgusting, though. Yeah.
Yours is even worse than mine because there was a time I can't remember what I was doing. I think maybe I was fetching water. I was bringing back water. I was wearing slippers, Dunlop slippers.
Yeah.
Dunlop slippers are basically like flip flops, and I think I was walking back to the hostel, and there was a glass bottle that was broken, and it had a sharp point. I'm just walking. I didn't see it. I literally stepped on it, and it pierced through the slipper, and it pierced through the bottom of my foot. And I just remember the blood.
It's
like dripping out. And then I remember putting it in the bucket of water that I'd had, because that's the only thing, that was the only thing next to me. And all the water just became red. At this point, fam, I thought
was
I
anyone
was
around?
Gonna die. I think one of my boys was around. He ran and got like a whole ply of tissue, and then we just wrapped it round. And then I had to go all the way to the clinic, which was at the top of the school.
Disgusting.
So this was a good 10-minute walk with one leg or 1 1/4 leg, basically.
That's disgusting. See that, you know, I was so lucky because I had one. My guy's actually has the same name as me, Emmanuel. Emmanuel Uban, that was his name. He's super cool. Once he saw my face, I actually went to where they were washing, because we were washing clothes together. But I finished. And then he saw me and he could tell I was going to drop any second. And he literally, I don't know how he managed, he literally just like carried me on top of his shoulder and took me to, like, literally there was blood all over his bed, brought the house master, and literally it was so much. And here, this is another battle scar.
What?
This was, I got cut by a blade. I got cut by a blade here, and then I had a motorcycle accident as well.
I had an Okada accident.
But that's massive on my leg here. It was, I got burnt, and then I jumped, because you know how our sewage systems here are all covered up. Theirs is not on the side of the roads; it's all dug in. So then I kind of jumped not to go into the sewage, and then my leg scraped on like a metal pole. Fam, I developed battle scars. You know, this precious body of mine has been through it all.
I remember them motorcycles in Nigeria are dangerous because the engine is hella hot, and if you don't mind when you're getting off,
your skin's off.
Burn your skin.
Your skin is off instantly. You know that experience. That experience, I must say, wasn't. I think they're like growing. I don't want to say growing pains. They're like, it's stuff that you just deal with when you grow up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never want to go through it.
No.
Again.
No.
But it's stuff you deal with. But one thing I found quite fun, what I used to do, just more exposing my criminal activities. Either from school, because our school and our boarding school was 2 separate buildings. From school, I would leave. Me and my friends would leave. Well, like, because I was quite cool with the security guard, so we would leave. Even though
what, you mean you'd leave the whole school?
The school, obviously, yeah. After school, instead of taking our bus, because the school had school buses that would take us to the boarding school. We would leave and walk down the road. Bear in mind, my school. You've seen my school. It's on the high. It's like it's basically pretty much on like a highway. Yeah. Like a road off a highway. And we would walk down the road to a barber shop, because we used to get barbers come into our boarding school. Dead. They used to cut hair like my head is now, bald. I have not always been bald. I am able to grow a lot of hair. You see what I mean? So I was not going to allow him do my hair. So what we used to do was walked down.
guys.
We walked down about half an hour. 35. No one knew. 35 minutes. But you has to be straight after school because we will make sure we take the last bus, and the last bus will be like an hour or hour and a half later.
So you make sure you're back in time.
Right. And no one sees us. Until we go and get our hair cut. Fam, I'm talking.
Wait, I thought you said you had the flats right beside the school.
Flats?
Yeah. No, I thought you said you had your hostel right beside the school.
Eventually. But it's not far. It's like down the road.
Okay,
Eventually they moved them. But at this point,
at this point you were still traveling back and forth.
Yeah, like maybe like 20 minutes.
Okay, not bad.
And I walked. We will go there and we'll come back, right? And he will be cutting everyone bald. Imagine 300 bald boys. Okay, they're all fucking
shiny,
walking like they're looking
shiny
like
brown heads.
Oompa Loompas, like and
brown
there was this
eggs.
one man, pastor. There's one man, there's one guy who cut all those hair, and all that hair, and I always think it's so mad. And I really remember this one guy, not wanting, you know how we would like get trims, like those sharp ones.
Yeah.
You know, I stuck to my standard. By that point, I already started getting a mustache, so you know, man's gas and all that. And he wanted a shape up that was like oval, like a girl. You know how girls get them circle, right? And I was thinking, right. And he was like, oh yeah, it looks good. I'm like, no, I looked really bad.
That sounds bad.
That looked really bad. It was all oval, and then he got vexed because when he saw himself in the mirror,
So did the daddy to just get a normal shape up.
But he had to deal with that for 2-3 weeks because, well, you know.
Such a donut.
Did you ever get like barbers coming to you?
I think we got barbers once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that it was just a quick. It wasn't no shape up.
No.
Pristine treatment. It was none of that.
No. Yeah. See, it was never that for us, but I had to use
the
my
fact
connects.
you got to sneak out because we could never ever sneak out of boarding school. The borders, the fence was high. And
We
there
did
was
have
security.
a riot. We did have a riot. We had but by this point I was in JS2. Mr. Lawal guy, he caused so much havoc. And babe, you said it. The seniors were massive.
Yeah. They were hench.
Now, he caused something happened. I can't recall, but something triggered that, and everyone literally they were spray painting. Fuck Mr. Lawal on the bus. They were climbing over the fences. Blah blah blah. And I vividly remember that there's one gate that goes into the proper like area where all the rich people are, and there was a robbery. Yeah, my God, and there was a robbery because there's loads of robbery. I used to see loads of robbery from my window, like, and there was a robbery going on there, and one of the men climbed over
into your school,
into our boarding school, and tried to take one of the JS1 kids. And I remember all the seniors. This is a mid riot, rushing here. Worst mistake. Pulp out of that man.
In Nigeria, if you're getting rushed, it's not like over here. They're brutal.
Yeah,
they will brutal. They will
probably just burn you up. They will probably they call it jungle justice.
Jungle justice. They actually have that in Nigeria. I disagree with it.
It's so bad. It is bad. But yeah, they will literally. They gave him 5 seconds to escape. That means climb over this hefty gate.
That's his business. How can you try and kidnap someone in boarding school?
Yeah, it's too much. We had all those experiences. We also had night vigil. Did you ever do a night vigil?
I can't remember doing night vigil.
No, we did. But our school is like they call them deeper life. I don't really. This is how and it's some pastor. And
I've heard of the Deeper Life Church.
If no one falls asleep, you are a saint. This is how this man talks. And bear in mind, he's not actually there. It's televised. So they put up this big projector thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, and the Lord said, respect your mother and father. So you see his voice is doing that.
It's like he's going up and down the hill, fam.
And your days maybe long. I'm like, this goes on for 2.5 hours. This goes on for 2.5 hours. Do you not think half the 150 at least are asleep?
I'm done. I'll be gone.
You know what I used to do?
What?
Let me tell you what I used to do. I used to go underneath my bunk bed. Because some of us used to keep suitcases there. And once everyone's out, I'm going to sleep. I used to just sleep underneath the bunk bed. Because I'm like, I'm not going through that. I want to sleep. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. My man is doing...
That's mad.
That boarding school experience is an experience I don't think... you know what? I think thanks to you, I think I've found the funny.
Oh, and the experience.
Yeah. Out of it.
100%. I agree.
You find the funny out of it. I don't know how. You find the funny out of it. I've begun to, clearly I've baited out my business on 4 bloody episodes.
Fam, I could laugh about everything, fam. There's always something to be joyful about. So
I don't know about that.
I enjoyed the overall experience. Now when I look back.
One thing that you regret.
Regret? I don't know if I regret.
Not regret, but you did not like.
I
didn't like any of it.
I didn't like the mosquitoes. I didn't like the
something we've not mentioned.
Ooh, what did I not like?
Or do you wish you did? I don't know. Very good question. Maybe.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I should have misbehaved more. Which sounds mad because I think that I'm cheeky enough, but yeah, I actually think as a kid I was too well behaved.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I think now I'm
I'm
like fully rebellious. No, I'm not rebellious, but now I couldn't really give too much of a toss.
An idiot, yeah.
Shut up! I was like that when we were young, when I was younger, but I think I was very much well behaved, and I was always scared of the repercussions of things, so I was always cautious before misbehaving.
Yeah, I think I just wild out at a certain point when I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah,
I just wild out. Because I was over being the new kid. I was over, no, not even the new kid. I was over being the British boy.
Yeah.
Because I was always known as the British boy. So, and I think in primary school, I was more happy to use my fists when I was younger.
Yeah.
But because I was in Nigeria, it was a whole nother ball game. They're all massive.
Yeah. It's different. It's different.
They're all massive. So man's gonna turn up with his voice, with me talking. You know what I mean, and cussing out. It's like you wanna swear at me in Yoruba, I'm gonna cuss you out in English, and watch, I'm gonna get you together.
Fair. I cussed out a good couple of people in Nigeria.
Did you get into fights?
I got into a few scuffles with friends. Yeah, but not
proper aggressive ones. I've gotten into a few aggressive ones.
Yeah, I wasn't that bad. I was more so a peacemaker.
And I was so bad because I was just like, apologize.
Oh yeah, you're violent. You're violent.
I'm not violent.
You were. You had violent outbursts.
Once upon a time. Yeah. But we all reform, and I am where
I agree, 100%. Roadman to teacher.
And you are, still.
Hey, me. I'm always gonna be, Richard Olamide.
Come on, just
Babatope Oladele Olatinlewa Fagbolagun.
You even said that sensibly. You didn't even say that like a freshie.